Joseph Murphy, law of attraction, and the hidden reverse law he hinted at arrives like dawn on a sealed archive. Pale light sliding under a locked door, revealing a room you thought you knew. Here is the startling insight, immediate and unadorned. What you relax into comes toward you. What you clutch at retreats. Imagine the tide. Stand fists clenched and the ocean pulls away. Open your palm and the sea places a shell there, perfectly shaped, quietly inevitable. For years, readers believed they had gathered every pearl Murphy cast upon the waters. Books dog-eared by use, lectures etched into memory, aphorisms engraved on refrigerators and hearts. But in pages faded by time, handwritten, crossed out, underlined with a fervor that borders on prayer, he gestured towards a subtler engine. He called it a reverse law, the paradox that manifestation blooms not from the frenzy of control, but from the serenity of alignment. The more you force, the more life resists. The more you trust, the more life rearranges itself to meet you where you already are within. Murphy's philosophy never asked you to beg reality to obey you. It asked you to awaken the part of you reality already mirrors. He taught that your subconscious is the soil of the world you walk through, neutral, obedient, literal. Plant panic, reap thorns. Plant assurance, reap orchards. Yet there is an unspoken step many miss. You cannot bully the soil. Seeds do not germinate under interrogations. They answer only to warmth, darkness, patience. So the secret is not louder affirmations or tighter jawlines, but a change of atmosphere, from strain to surrender, from bargaining to belonging. View your life as a great river at night. Your conscious mind is the oar. Your subconscious is the current. Providence is the moon. Many row until their hands bleed, certain that progress is proportional to exertion. Murphy suggests something more audacious. Ship the oar, feel the pull beneath, and let the river carry you toward the bend you cannot yet see. Not laziness, listening. Not passivity, partnership. Your quiet attention is the passport the current recognizes. Consider the law of reversal at work in everyday miracles. The more anxiously you hunt for sleep, the more insomnia sharpens its teeth. But if you soften your gaze, release the need to fall asleep, and simply practice resting, the body does what it remembers. It opens the door from the inside. Or love. Chase it in hunger, and even kindness feels cornered. Sit in worthiness, and love recognizes its home in you and returns without leash or whistle. Or money. When you declare, I must have this or I am not safe, your nervous system broadcasts scarcity. Your subconscious, faithful stenographer, types it out in events. But when you dwell in, I am provisioned from within, you reissue the script and the world changes its lines. Murphy would say, feeling is the secret, but feeling forced is counterfeit. The reverse law is the art of unclenching, not your ambition, but your nervous system. It asks, can you allow what you've already chosen? Can you permit what your deeper mind is ready to deliver? In practice, this sounds like a paradox. Hold the clear intention and release the timetable. Affirm a result and surrender the choreography. Choose a direction and stop checking the mile markers every 5 steps. The seed does not grow faster because you dig it up to ask how it's doing. Let's make it tangible. Tonight, before sleep, close your eyes and shape a single scene. A moment that would prove to you, beyond argument, that the chosen result has occurred. Perhaps it's an email subject line, approved, or the sound of a familiar voice saying, "We'd love to have you." Perhaps it's the feel of a door handle in your new home, cool and solid in the palm. Now, and this is the hinge, do not push. Breathe slowly until the body's edges blur. Let the image rest like a feather on the water of your mind. When impatience rises, smile at it the way you would smile at a child tugging your sleeve. "We'll get there," you whisper. Then you surrender the scene to the keeper of seeds. "I accept." Turn to the inner gardener and trust the process you cannot supervise. You will feel a lift, almost imperceptible. The psyche loosens, the breath deepens, and the scene begins to project itself without your hands on the lens. This is the mark that the subconscious has accepted your order. From here, your work is atmosphere. Gratitude like sunlight, rest like soil, gentle self-talk like rain. You won't make a thing happen. You will allow what is happening beneath your notice to break the surface at the appointed hour. Myth knows this law. Orpheus looked back and lost Eurydice. Lot's wife glanced backward and became salt. Why? Because clinging is a backward gaze. The reverse law warns, when you look over your shoulder every few steps to check if your desire is still following, you anchor yourself in doubt. Faith looks forward, not to chase, but to walk as if the road is paved just beyond the lantern's light. This is not superstition. It is the psychology of expectancy. The subconscious hears the footsteps of the future you rehearse and lays down a carpet to match them. Murphy spoke often of prayer as assumption, not begging a distant power, but assuming the tone of fulfilled desire and resting there. The reverse law completes that thought. Rest means release. Assume the feeling, and then forgive the outcome. Forgive it for not arriving today. Forgive it for arriving in a shape cleverer than your outline. Forgive it for skipping the scene you thought would be the best monologue. You are not resigning. You are honoring a choreography that includes entrances you cannot cue and exits you cannot schedule. So enter this journey with a new posture. Not the sprinter coiled on the blocks, but the archer stilling the wind. Not the prospector panning silt with frantic hands, but the astronomer dark adapting her eyes until galaxies appear of their own accord. Your mantra is simple and sovereign. I set, I soften, I see. Set the intention. Soften the grip. See what was always searching for you. You've been told to work harder. What if the lever you've been missing is the one labeled less effort, more gravity? Keep listening. The weight of what wants you is already leaning your way. There is a chamber beneath thought where your life is decided. Joseph Murphy called it the subconscious, the engine humming below the deck. It does not argue, it implements. It is impressionable as wet clay and faithful as sunrise. Place into it the imprint of panic, and it will fetch you reasons to panic. Place into it the imprint of done, and it will hire circumstances as artisans to sculpt done out of the raw stone of your days. The reverse law is the etiquette by which you approach this chamber. Quiet steps, slow breath, requests phrased as realities. Imagine your subconscious as a garden untouched for a season. Ravens of rumor have nested there. Weeds of not yet, not me, and not enough stand tall. You do not sprint into a garden with a megaphone and a stopwatch. You enter at dawn. You kneel. You pull 3 weeds, not 300. You plant a handful of good seed with an expression that says, "Of course." You water. You leave. And here is the phrase that loosens the iron gate. I will not supervise the sprout. Say it aloud. Feel the relief. Your urge to monitor is the weed that grows back the fastest. If the subconscious is the garden, emotion is the climate. You could scatter the finest seed and still get winter. That is why Murphy insisted, feeling is the secret. But feeling cannot be bribed or coerced. It must be evoked. The reverse law teaches you to approach feeling sideways. Instead of, I must feel gratitude now, try, where is gratitude already alive in me? Instead of, I must feel rich, try, what can I appreciate that costs nothing? The climate warms by degrees. The frost recedes. Sprouts decide it is safe to show their small green flags. Let's practice a 3-step reverse assumption ritual. Morning or night, 5 quiet minutes. Name, 1 sentence. It is done in me. Not out there, in me. The seed isn't in the sky, it's in your soil. Note, 1 image. Catch a sensory cue of completion. The click of a paid in full. The scent of your child's hair on the first morning in the new house. The weight of your graduation stole. Pick one. Hold lightly. Nourish, 1 breath. On the inhale, whisper, welcome. On the exhale, whisper, I release the how. This is not poetry for its own sake. It is a physiological doorway. The exhale recruits your parasympathetic system. Calm tells the garden, now is safe. You'll notice something. Your choices begin to self-select. Emails you should answer feel different from emails that belong to who you're becoming. You say yes faster to the latter, and the world says yes faster to you. This is Murphy's alignment, not as mysticism, but as friction reduction. When belief and behavior stop arguing, results do not need to be dragged. They arrive under their own power. When frustration flares, because it will, practice merciful editing. Do not condemn yourself for checking the soil. Smile at the impulse. Refocus. The gardener I am becoming trusts germination. Then shift your attention to anything unquestionably present and good. A morning shaft of light, warm water from a tap, civilization arriving through copper veins. Gratitude is not denial of difficulty. It's refusal to make difficulty sovereign. About now, the question rises, but what about action? The reverse law does not sideline effort, it sanctifies it. Action is the body of faith. But panic-driven action is sawdust calories. It keeps you busy without feeding you. Reverse law action moves like a well-timed chess piece. Not many moves, meaningful moves. Ask, what is the smallest honest step consistent with the world I've assumed? Send 1 pitch aligned with your tone of already chosen. Make 1 call from the posture of I belong here. Pack 1 box as if the address sticker has already been printed in another room. And when the hourglass whispers that you're behind, remember Murphy's counsel. Time is an ingredient, not a tyrant. Dough that is bullied bakes into brick. Dough that is given time becomes bread. Your dream is arising, yeast set to warmth. The reverse law is the discipline of the baker. Measure with care, knead with intention, then cover the bowl and walk away. Not because you don't care, but because caring means letting chemistry do what chemistry does in the dark. As you walk this, you will meet the ancient adversary of allowing, comparison. You will see someone else arrive at a destination you desire and feel your chest tighten like a fist. The old program will say, catch them, beat them. The reverse law smiles and says, bless them. Borrow their proof. Another's harvest is meteorology, evidence that this climate is possible. Turn the jealousy to data. It grows here. Then, return to your own field and keep your covenant with patience. Murphy also spoke of prayer as disciplined imagination. Here is a prayer in his cadence, simple, direct, potent. I consent to the good that already seeks me. I relinquish urgency and receive timing. I live from the end, and the end lives in me. I walk as if welcomed, for I am. Speak this not to persuade a hesitant universe, but to parade your inner court into order, the steward of thought, the treasurer of emotion, the scribe of memory, all taking their places as the king enters. Assuredness. If fear still raps its knuckles on the door, what if nothing happens? Answer with Murphy's gentleness. Something is always happening. If a seed lies quiet, the soil is lively. If a phone sits dark, a decision is moving down a corridor toward you. If a road looks empty, a caravan is 3 turns away. Do not demand that the mail be delivered at 2:06 p.m. with a blue ink signature. Be available. Be receptive. Be found. And if you must measure, measure not outcomes, but atmosphere. Do I catch myself exhaling more often? Do I laugh quicker? Do I say thank you without auditioning the reasons? These are the early sprouts. Water them with benign neglect. Attentive, not invasive. What if your greatest breakthroughs arrive by invitation only, and serenity is the ink on that invitation? In the next movement, you'll learn to write your name in that ink, and doors you've knocked on for years will swing from the inside. There is a silence strong enough to carry cities. The old teachers knew it. Murphy tuned his life to it. Not the hush of avoidance, but the quiet of consent, a cathedral built of breath. You enter it when you stop bargaining with reality and begin agreeing with the deeper pattern already converging. The reverse law lives here. It is silence's native language. When you sit, spine long and jaw soft, the mind does what a lake does at dusk. It calms. And in that calm, the sky appears on its surface. The moment this happens, imagination regains its priestly function. No longer a frantic painter trying to finish before the gallery closes, imagination becomes a vestment you wear. Assume the feeling, Murphy said, and the silence lets you. It is difficult to assume abundance while the inner room is clattering with scarcity's pots and pans. Clear the table, lay a white cloth, place a single candle called enough. Now imagine, not as an escape, but as an agreement. Practice the quiet quorum. 3 minutes, eyes downcast, palms open on your thighs. Think nothing on purpose. When stray thoughts tiptoe in with clipboards, deadlines, dialogues, to-dos, smile and let them walk by. Then, in that sweet vacancy, let one sentence float up from the floor of you. I am already where I thought I needed to go. Notice the body's response. The shoulders retreat from the ears, the brow smooths, the mouth warms. Physiologically, permission has been issued. Psychologically, reality has been pre-forgiven for not matching your script perfectly. Spiritually, the garden gates swing inward. The reverse law is scandalous in a culture drunk on velocity. It claims what you release returns refined. It dares to say that gentleness gets more done. Consider the archer again. The further back she draws, the stiller she becomes. No tremor, no rush. The arrow is kinetic inevitability. Her stillness is the aiming. You are the archer. Your assumption is the draw. Your stillness is the aim. Let the arrow fly and do not chase it. Walk to the target when it's time. You will find fletching in the bullseye or in the better mark you didn't see in the shadows. A story. A composer sought a melody that would not come. He hammered at the piano until night frowned at his windows. Exhausted, he left his apartment and walked. Snow had begun, single floating pages torn from a white book. As he turned the corner, a bakery truck vented warm breath into the cold. The smell of bread reached him with the intimacy of childhood. Inside that smell, the melody arrived whole. He ran home laughing, fingers already playing it on the air. He hadn't stopped working. He had stopped strangling. The reverse law delivered when his grip loosened enough for delivery. So how do you loosen without losing intention? 2 keys: tone and trust. Tone is the posture your inner voice takes with your life. Trust is the interval you allow between planting and harvest. Make your tone benediction, not indictment. I bless my becoming. I bless delays that save me from lesser doors. Then give trust a measurable practice. Sabbath the desire. 1 day a week, you do not discuss, visualize, or tinker with the thing you want. You live in unrelated joy. Walk a market, touch fruit. Listen to a street violinist and let a minor third repair you. This is not neglect, it is oxygen. Fires fed without pause burn houses. Fires tended wisely warm them. Murphy warned against the hypnosis of appearances. The reverse law breaks that spell by installing a deeper metric, not what is happening to me, but what is happening in me. If in the face of a setback you maintain your tone and your trust, you did not lose. A door you worshipped closed on schedule. Your worship turned toward the unlit hallway. Stand there. Listen. Footsteps you can't yet see are walking your direction. Language matters. Speak as if backing up your life, not boxing it in. Avoid the whiplash of contradictory decrees. It is done, followed by, why isn't it done? The subconscious takes dictation at the speed of feeling. Give it clean copy. Try this. It is underway and I am at rest. Or, I live from sufficiency. Supply recognizes me. Or, the right people can already hear my name. Say such things once with conviction, and then live as if you'd said them. Repetition has power, yes, but compulsion is a rope that frays. The reverse law prefers steady warmth to a blowtorch. And when grief enters, as it does, as it must, do not shame it with slogans. Sit beside it, hold its hand. Murphy's gentleness extends here. Allowing grief does not cancel grace. The reverse law, in the presence of loss, becomes the law of return. Not always in the same form, not always in the same room, but return nonetheless. Piece after pieces, soft laughter where the ache was, meaning woven through memory like gold thread in black cloth. Your trust becomes a lantern you hang on a nail in the dark. Others will see it and sit with you. This too is manifestation, companionship arriving unsummoned. Let's add a practice that feels like music, the already walk. Once a day, walk a city block or your hallway with the cadence of someone who has received the letter they longed for. Not a swagger, not a performance, a private calibration. Shoulders unhurried, eyes taking in detail, leaves like coins, a crack in the pavement shaped like a river. After 60 seconds, your nervous system has learned a rhythm. The rhythm signals your subconscious. We have crossed over. The world will look up and recognize you as if you had changed your suit. You have. You are wearing assurance. Finally, mercy toward the self who tried so hard. Thank the hustler. Retire them with honors. Tell them, you brought us this far. We'll take it from here. This is not contempt for ambition, it is evolution of it, from noise to note, from push to pull. You will still work, you will work better. The river will not ask more of you than you have. It will ask less of what drains you and more of what makes you luminous. You've learned to hush the room. Now learn to speak a sentence that reorders it. Next, we'll script the subconscious in the language it obeys and watch your days fall into place like constellations finding their myth. Words are levers. Some move pebbles, some move continents. Murphy treated language like engineering. Precision shapes reality. Not because syllables are magic tricks, but because statements set permissions inside your nervous system, and permission is the quickest road to power. The reverse law asks you to choose phrases that loosen what is tight and steady what is spilling. Then say them with the tenderness reserved for vows. We begin by retiring the most expensive sentence in your vocabulary. I'll believe it when I see it. Trade it for Murphy's sequel. I'll see it when I believe it. Belief here is not limp opinion, it is felt permission. You are not cheered into it, you practice it until your cells hum the tune. The subconscious does not care that English is your second language. It cares that your tone is unfractured. Try the threefold tongue. To yourself, inner whisper, I am the place where this is already true. To life, spoken aloud in calm, I welcome only what accords with my peace. To the day, quiet decree at the door, I move in grace, and grace moves toward me. These lines are not armor, they are alignment. Wear them loosely, the way a skilled dancer wears clothing that lets the body do what it knows. Next, refine your if-then spells. The anxious mind says, if this email doesn't come, then I am unsafe. Rewrite. If this email comes, good. If it doesn't, better is rerouting. The reverse law loves non-collapse, not hinging your worth to a single hinge. By widening the narrative, you remove the chokehold that keeps options from entering the room. Murphy also taught assent over argument. Therefore, replace negation with direction. Instead of I am not broke, try I am provisioned. Instead of I don't get rejected, try I am recognized. Negation still points at the thing you don't want. The subconscious sees the outline and fills it. Direction, by contrast, offers a blueprint the builders can read without squinting. For moments when panic spikes, keep a one-breath liturgy. Inhale, present. Exhale, provided. Say nothing else. The body will conspire with the breath before the mind consents with a paragraph. In 30 seconds, your inner weather shifts. Contracts are signed under clear skies. But words without embodiment are theater with the lights off. So pair statements with micro-actions that rhyme. If you say, I belong in that room, place your shoulders as if you've just been called in. If you say, money moves toward me effortlessly, open a savings account titled Welcome. If you say, healthy love finds me, delete the contact whose ringtone is dread. The reverse law is velocity with very little drag. Belief, language, and behavior pointing one way. You may fear that releasing control invites chaos. In truth, relinquishment is the filter that keeps chaos out. When you stop micromanaging, you stop letting desperation choose. You stop sending late-night emails that smell like hunger. You stop accepting invitations that taste like ash. Murphy's guidance was never sit still forever. It was sit still long enough for wisdom to speak, then move on that sentence like it's a rail. Often it will be small. Send flowers. Ask, don't pitch. Leave 10 minutes early. These syllables change destinies because they change angles. Let us craft 4 Murphy-style affirmations: cinematic, precise, reverse law compliant. Read each once, then walk as if it were so. Provision. I stand under an open sky of supply. What I need recognizes me by name. Vocation. My work fits my shoulders. It carries me as I carry it. Love. I am loved in the language I understand, and I understand the language I am loved in. Health. Every cell cooperates with my peace. Wellness is my default setting. Now, a practice for nights that don't want to end. The canceled rehearsal. If you catch yourself running the catastrophe script, rehearsing hard conversations, future rejections, stop mid-line and whisper, "This performance is canceled." Swap the scene for the proof scene you chose earlier. Not grandiose, specific. The brain learns by specificity. Hear the cup set on the saucer in your quiet kitchen. Feel the click of your key in the door you once thought was someone else's. You will observe a new phenomenon. Coincidence density increases. People you haven't spoken to in years write at the exact hour you soften. A closed matter reopens with an apology you did not demand. The commute shortens. The cashier says, "I'm not sure why, but there's a discount today." Skepticism will try to take the microphone. Let it have a verse, then escort it off stage. You need not invent miracles to feed your hope. You only need to stop starving the ones already in the room. When setbacks occur, and they will because life is an artist with chiaroscuro, practice elastic faith. Rigid hope snaps. Elastic hope stretches and returns. Say, "I include this in my arrival story," because you will. One day you will tell of the door that stayed stubbornly shut, and you will bless it for forcing you to notice the hidden stair. Before sleep tonight, place your hand on your chest and say, "We did enough for one day." This sentence is not laziness, it is stewardship. The subconscious loves a boundary. It lets the night crew work. While you sleep, the stagehands of Providence reset the scenery. It is immodest to remain on stage issuing notes while they labor. Leave the theater. Go home. Tomorrow you will return to a set mysteriously closer to the play you wrote. You've learned to speak and let go. Now watch how time becomes your collaborator. Next, we'll step into the finale, where the promise at the beginning reveals itself and you discover why life has been circling your address all along. We began with a whisper. What you relax into comes toward you. Now the whisper rises to its promised revelation. The reverse law is not simply a technique. It is a temperament, a way of belonging to your own life so deeply that life cannot help but belong to you. Joseph Murphy called you to that belonging, not by hype, but by sanity. Assume, allow, arrive. Picture yourself at the threshold you've imagined. Not someday, now. Feel the texture of the door frame, lacquered wood, cool under your knuckles. Turn the handle. Inside is the life you feared would not fit. It fits because you have been tailoring your inner posture to its proportions. The room smells faintly of citrus and paper, like a new book in sunlight. On the desk, an envelope with your name written in a hand that looks like your grandmother's, steady, fond. You open it to find no instructions, no demands, only a single line: welcome back. You do not cry because you are surprised. You cry because you are recognized. This is the heart of Murphy's wisdom. What you become within recognizes you without. The world is not a vending machine. It is a mirror carved into a door. Your assumption fogs it. Your spirit clears it. And then you see, the door was never locked. It required not the right coin, but the right quiet. So how do you live beyond this video? You practice 3 enduring courtesies. 1, courtesy to timing. You will stop slandering time. You will say, I am perfectly met. If waiting extends, you will treat it as marination, not neglect. You will bless delays as design features. If it took this long, it is this good. This is not spin. It is biographical accuracy you cannot yet read. You will read it. 2, courtesy to self. You will speak to yourself as you would to a trusted chief of staff. Clear, kind, brief. You will end days before they end you. You will learn the recipe for your balance. 1 walk, 1 laugh, 1 line of beauty. You will refuse the old adrenaline diet. Peace will be your caloric base. 3, courtesy to mystery. You will let the untellable stay untold until it becomes visible. You will stop narrating downturns as destinies. You will say, I don't know yet. And in that honest pause, wiser sentences will enter the room and sit down. As you keep these courtesies, you will find life prearranging itself. A friend introduces a friend whose hobby unlocks your problem. A clerk at a corner shop mentions a class that becomes your turning. A window seat opens without your asking. You will still act. Your actions will feel like stepping stones where there used to be swamp. This is not because the swamp dried. It is because you learned where the stones are. The subconscious knew, your quiet let it point. Now, the cinematic end the opening promised. You stand beneath a night sky. The stars look like pinholes punched in a black drum. The light of another country shining through. You say nothing. You are saying everything. The wind carries the scent of something baking in a house you cannot see. Sweet, inevitable. The road behind you is real. It taught you every muscle of surrender. The road ahead is also real. It will ask less violence from you and more listening. You will meet people who mirror your calm. You will bless people who mirror your old urgency and keep walking. You will wake to mornings that feel like reasonable miracles. You will have days that don't. In both, you will be kept. Take this vow with me in Murphy's spirit. I accept the completed good. I allow its timing, wiser than mine. I align my words, my breath, my body. I arrive each day, already home. Let the vow ring and fade like a bell. Then step into the practice that keeps bells ringing. Consistency over intensity. Don't chase the high of a perfect ritual. Keep the small rituals perfect in their smallness. 5 calm breaths, 1 chosen sentence, 1 minute of the already walk, 1 act of generosity that proves you are not poor. Repeat. The subconscious, noting your steadiness, assigns you the role of one who is ready. Casting follows. If this message has been your mirror and your door, take one more aligned action. Become a channel member for early access to the next films in this series. Deep dives on timing, on money as a spiritual servant, on relationships that don't require self-abandonment. Membership is not a paywall, it's a participation. Together, we will practice the reverse law until it becomes our native air. And now the final turning. You thought you were chasing a life. The life was tracking you by your peace. It could not find you while you were impersonating panic. It sees you now. Calmer silhouette, steadier gait, mouth uncruel to yourself. Watch what happens when you stop auditioning and take your seat on the stage built for your voice. The director has been waiting. The house lights dim. The orchestra breathes. The cue comes from nowhere and exactly on time. You step forward, not to convince, but to confirm. Welcome to the art Murphy trusted with his last underlines. Welcome to the reverse law. Welcome home. If this found you at the right hour, don't hunt the next sign. Be the sign. Set, soften, see, and let the world do what it has been trying to do since the day you first dared to rest.